let's see how we can get started using Blurweb app. The first step in this process is going to be the installation part. So you can visit blurweb.app, go to the bottom of the page, and then click on download extension. Or the other option can be, you can just type blurweb.app on Google and click on this link where this is saying blurweb.app and chrome.google.com. Once you are on this particular page, you can just click on add to Chrome. I have actually already done that. So let me show you how we can do that. Just click on add to Chrome, click on add extension. Once you will do that, it will be added right over here. I'm going to click on this add-on and then click on pin. Once you will do that, it will be pinned to your taskbar. Now you can just visit any landing page, or any page. I'm just going to visit blurweb.app. Now you need to make sure you don't click on the extension when you are in a new tab, because it will not work on the new tab as well as on google.com. So you can just visit any landing page like blurweb.app, click on the extension, then enter your license key. I'm going to do that, and then click on activate. Once you will do that, now it's time to give your device a name so that later on you can manage your active devices. You can deactivate them from blurweb.app/mylicense over here. Now I'm going to give this device name from Notify app. So this is basically my Chrome profile. So this is the name I want to give it. I'm going to name this 3 because I already have 2. So I'm going to click on add device. That's all what we need to do, and we are ready to get started using Blurweb app. Now let's go through all the different features Blurweb have to offer. The first one is we have 2 blur options, actually 3 blur options. We have element blur, we have text blur, and we have area blur. So let's see how all of these works. So first thing first, you can see this blue border around every different elements. So what we can do is we can click on anything and it will blur it out. So this is called element blur because we are doing the blur or providing the blur to the elements. If you will click on this switch mode, then it will switch it to the text based. So now you can select a text and then click on this which says blur selected text, and it will blur that selected text. Now let's go back to the element one. We have this third option which is called hide title. So title. So for example, if you don't want people to see this title of your browser, for example, there is one case if you're using Google AdSense page and you are showing some details to your, you're just teaching something and you don't want the title to show. It can be earning, it can be your ID and stuff like that. Then you can just click on this and it will remove that. Moving on, we have this blur area feature. So with element, you can blur a particular things, right? You can blur particular element, but that is very fixed. If you want very free of how you want to blur, then you can use blur area. So with blur area, you don't have to be dependent on where the element is. You can just draw this rectangle anywhere on the screen and it will blur it out. So for example, you can do it like this. For example, I just want to hide this face part in the video. I'm just going to do that. And then let's say I just don't want to see ORE. Maybe I don't want to see the half of it. Maybe I don't want to see get started. And I'm going to click on apply. So these are the different options which we have. Then we have this clear all, which is obviously basically to clear all the blur which we have done so far. We have this option so that you can control the opacity. So in some cases, if you have a very large text like this one, your opacity might be something like the text is visible. In that case, you can increase the opacity, or if you like, you can decrease the opacity as well. It's in your control. I'm going to increase it, so that is there. Now, we also have an interesting feature which is called keep blur. So right now, if I will reload this page, you can see that a blur will be gone. But if I want this blur to stay, then what I can do is I can click on the extension. I will click on this keep blur. So making sure we click on the keep blur first, and then we will blur out the stuff we want to keep. So I'm going to click on keep blur, and then I will click on this, click on that. Then I will click on this check, and then if I will reload, you can see it has blurred out. And the most important thing is it was not even visible for a single second or a millisecond. So keep your focus here. Let's see that again. If we will reload, it's not visible. Now this also works for the area blur area feature as well. So let's say I want to, for some reason I want to hide something of a very not exactly element based. So let's say if I have the face, for example, the face in this particular video, I don't want to show the face in this video, then what I can do is I can click on keep blur. So again, I'm clicking on keep blur first to keep the blur, clicking on blur area, and then what I will do is I will draw this blur area around this face, and then click on apply, click on check, and if I will reload the page, you can see it stays, right? If you will scroll up and down, when you will go back to that, it's still blur. So, have you ever been in a situation when you wanted to share WhatsApp web via screen share? So basically, either you're doing a Zoom call, you're doing a Google Meet call, or you're recording a screen, whatever you're doing, you wanted to share the WhatsApp web screen. Now, the problem with that is you have a lot of sensitive information which you might not want to reveal, some of which involves the contacts. You don't want people to be able to see the contacts. At the same time, some of that can be the chats, whatever the people are messaging. So in this video, I'll show you how you can do WhatsApp screen share, WhatsApp web specifically, WhatsApp web screen share without having to worry about revealing your sensitive information. So let's get right into it. So to do so, you need to download Blurweb App extension, which is a browser extension which is available for Chrome and all the other browsers. So you can install it for Firefox, Edge, Brave, all the other ones. So once you have installed that, you have to click on the extension. This will ask for a license key, so just make sure to get one. And once you will enter the license key, then you will have this extension. So you can see it's basically creating a border around everything you want to blur out. So I can just click on it and again click on it to unblur. So I can click to blur, I can click to unblur. That's pretty easy, right? So let's see how we can hide these contacts. So one option is, of course, you can go one by one hiding them out, but we want a very easy approach to this. So I just want to hide all the contacts because I don't want to show them, right? So in that case, what I will do is I will use the blur area feature, click on this blur area, and then select from here to this side. Now, the reason why I have left this particular space is so that I can scroll, because if you will try to scroll above this, you will not be able to. So I'm going to click on apply and show you what I mean. So you can see I'm able to scroll very easily without having to have any issue, which I will not be able to do if I would have this till this corner. So you can see how easy it was to hide all the contacts while doing a screen share. So let's say I'm just doing a screen share and I wanted to show some messages, and let me show you some. So yeah, I wanted to show some messages while screen share, and but I don't want to show this. So this is what we can do. The second thing is, let's say we want to hide these messages. So I'm going to open up the Blurweb app again, and I want to hide the image. I'll pick up the blur area feature, grab it like that, and click on apply, and that's all done. You can see the image is hidden, and that was way easier. You just have to write up the space whichever you want to hide, and it's done. So the next step in this process can be, let's say, let me add more messages. So I'll say hello, and this is new message. Okay, so you can see what is happening is if you will add more message, this can go like for example down. So in that case, you have an option that you can actually move it around. You can hide something else. You can like kind of grab this and put it wherever you like. So for example, I don't want to share my profile picture, I can do that. I'm just going to keep it at the image. So that's that. So you can see you can actually create screenshots, you can screen share quite comfortably now. So if you have any questions, do let me know, and thanks for watching.